The Madman! Welcome to Trump's official ratings for the classes of Druid, Hunter, and Mage for Descent of Dragons. And let me tell you this is the most number of 5 stars that I've ever given. If you've kept up with Descent of Dragons, you're probably not surprised. Druid has 2 main decks that's going to get. I'll cover the first deck, which is going to be the Dragon deck. You ramp using Breath of Dreams, which is Wild Growth on steroids. Imagine being able to Wild Growth and draw a card. That's easily the best card in that deck. You also have excellent cards such as Emerald Explorer and jnZaneHD Unleashed. Looks insane, right? You can even say that, maybe you only have Embiggen and Breath of Dreams as the spells in your deck. So the rest of your deck is minions. So you cast Embiggen, it affects like almost all of your deck. Seems like the right place to run Embiggen. But you know what? In this upcoming meta, Ramp Druid is not going to cut it, even if it has the minor synergy of your whole deck being +2/+2, but costing 1 more. Even if it has an insane effect in Breath of Dreams. You need more than just a basic game plan of a bunch of minions plus, they all have basically +1/+ in stats when you consider the fact that they cost 1 more, and you need something a little bit more unfair than Wild Growth, which draws you a card unnerfed. I still think it's only tier 3, and thus I'm going to rate the entire package here 3 stars. By the way, when I started and when Breath of Dreams was revealed, I was like, oh man, that's insane. It's easily going to be top 10 in this list. Dragon Druid is definitely going to be a tier 1 deck. I take it back. And then you have the other Druid deck that's come up. All of this treant stuff. Tree Enforcements, Shrubadier, Aeroponics, and Guru, the Mage. And you know what? I actually think that this is better than the Dragon stuff. I think that all of these cards are in a tier 2 deck. So I'm giving all of these cards 4 stars. And a big reason for that is Aeroponics. Aeroponics just synergizes so well with Garden Gnome. It's the extra 5+ mana spell that Garden Gnome wants in the deck, but you couldn't really find a good one. And Aeroponics is actually Pot of Greed. You'll find moments where you have 3 treants in play really easily, and then you'll just play Aeroponics and draw 2 cards. The treant deck gets so much more sturdier when you can turn 1, get a 2/2 treant in play, which allows you to follow up with Dendrologist. If you don't have the Tree Enforcements, maybe you can coin Shrubadier, or you can even play Shrubadier and then play Dendrologist afterwards. It's just overall a much more solid game plan. You got Guru the Mage coming down the turn before Nature's Aid. Nature's Aid suddenly gives you 15/15 worth of stats instead of 8/8. And of course, Guru the Mage is also a Mage, 7 mana 5/10. And then you've got the random cards. You have Secure the Deck, attack twice with your hero. It's like, when do you want to do that? There's no reason you want to attack with your hero. Reward is like, draw 3 claws. So yeah, Secure the Deck, 1 star. And you have Strength in Numbers, which I looked at putting this into the Embiggen Dragon deck. And on average, in that Dragon deck, you were summoning a 4/5 because you had to run a few small cards as well. And 1 mana, reward summon a 4/5 from your deck, like possibly summon something big and waste the battle cry. Meh. Especially since you cannot spend 10 mana on the same turn that you play Strength in Numbers. So that 4/5 you get is always at least 3 turns delayed. So in summation, I think that Druid gets some pretty good stuff. The Dragon Druid deck, I'm looking forward to trying it out. I think it's only tier 3, but Breath of Dreams is insane, and jnZaneHD Unleashed is a very strong dragon. But how good can a ramp plan be? And then at tier 2, I think, is Treants. Treants have some really strong synergy, and Garden Gnome from previous was insane. What it just needed was another 5 mana spell. And this is a 5 mana spell that draws you 2 cards for 0 mana as well. So yeah, that's pretty good. Hunter gets a lot of small packages here, and those packages are all pretty good. You've got the Rush package, which is Clear the Way and Diving Griffin. I believe both of these are extremely good. It's a 1 mana 4/4 with Rush. All you have to do is summon 3 Rush minions, which is easily achievable, and of course, the natural card to go with it Diving Griffin, which is an amazing 3 mana 4 damage, plus you draw a card. Shadow Bolt plus draw a card, sign me up. Either way, Diving Griffin, I give them both 5 stars. Really strong mini package there. Another package is the Hero Power package. Of this stuff, I think Dwarven Sharpshooter and Dragonbane are very strong. You turn 1 the Dwarven Sharpshooter, you threaten dealing 2 damage to a minion on turn 2 without expending any resources other than mana. And with Dragonbane, that's like a mini Ragnaros. You can play it on 6 mana with your Hero Power, or you can play it on 4 mana. Maybe your opponent can't deal with the 5 health. Dwarven Sharpshooter and Dragonbane, I give those 5 stars. Toxic Reinforcements and Phase Stalker, on the other hand, I think don't fit into a deck. Toxic Reinforcements is a 4-turn delay before you can actually attack with the Leper Gnomes. And in an aggressive deck, you cannot count on a card that's only useful 4 turns later. And for Phase Stalker, I think that there's not secrets that are good enough that you want to pull with your Phase Stalker. And I don't think you want to dilute your Dwarven Sharpshooters and Dragonbanes with like bad secrets in your deck. There's a current version of Highlander Hunter, of course, which does run secrets, and I do think that Dwarven Sharpshooter and Dragonbane go into the Highlander Hunter. But 1, I don't think that secrets are going to be the best way to do it. 2, there's not really enough secrets for you to do Phase Stalker and Subject 9, as well as the other secret stuff. Finally, Hunter has another very exciting package, the Dragon package. I think that Dragon Hunter is going to be very strong, and it's going to be buoyed off of the power of Stormhammer. That is actually a 3 mana 3/8 weapon. I think you can easily swing with this thing 6 times while you have a dragon in play. So that is 24 damage on a 3 mana weapon, which is of course insane. Primordial Explorer is a very strong dragon as well. 3 mana 2/3, get a card, plus it's poisonous, so it could trade with a huge card. And Varanus, just mass Hunter's Mark on a aggressively statted minion. Corrosive Breath is absolutely insane. It's an old card, Cobra Shot, which normally costs 5 mana. That's a 3 mana reduction, and yes, it was a bad card, but believe me, when it gets reduced by 3 mana, it's insane. Once you're on the aggression, you pay 2 mana to basically deal 6 damage. You deal 3 to a taunt, 3 to the face, you help clear the way. I've done that before. It was really good. Very, very strong dragons all around, and Stormhammer ties it all together. All of these cards are 5 stars. In summary, I think that Highlander Hunter changes from the secret package to the dragon package. And not only that, I think it literally runs every card in here other than Toxic Reinforcement and Phase Stalker. Run all the packages, run the Rush package, run the mini Hero Power package because Dwarven Sharpshooter and Dragonbane are that strong, run the Dragon package, run all the good neutral dragons as well. Smack people with the Stormhammer, hope for the high roll that you get it. Corrosive Breath is really disgusting and amazing. Yeah, that's just really good. Or maybe you think Corrosive Breath, Primordial Explorer, Stormhammer, and Varanus are so strong that you run 2 copies of each and, don't run the Highlander stuff. And I think that might be the way to go as well. Which one will come out on top? Hard to say. But I think that it's going to be a tier 1 deck for the Dragon Hunter, and I think it's going to be a tier 2 deck for the Highlander Hunter. But even if the Dragon Hunter ends up only being tier 2, you use these cards in both decks, so they deserve the 5-star rating. Finally, for this set, we have Mage. And Mage gets it good. It gets it real good. We have the Dragon package, which is not what I expected to be the less exciting package. Dragon package, you have Arcane Breath, you have Azure Explorer, you have Malagos Aspect of Magic, you have Dragon Caster, and I'm going to lump Rolling Fireball in there because a Dragon deck for Mage is probably going to be a control deck. So I think the Dragon Mage stuff is pretty solid. There is reason to play dragons, because 1, Arcane Breath is absolutely insane if you have dragons. 1 mana deal 2, draw a card. Discover a spell basically as good as draw a card. And Dragon Caster with the Reno Mage equivalent, which you can run twice of. You can play Dragon Caster Flame Strike, play Dragon Caster Puzzle Box of Yagg-Saron. It's really good. You can even Dragon Caster Rolling Fireball. There are so many good cards that I think Rolling Fireball does not make the cut, which is why I'm rating Rolling Fireball 2 stars. Also, I think that as powerful as these are, there are more powerful control decks out there. There are more powerful ways of generating value. I'm not sure if Dragon Mage is able to survive ruthless aggression. I don't know if it can keep up with the damage that mid-range aggro decks can put out. So I'm rating the cards that I think will only fit in Dragon Mage 3 stars of Azure Explorer and Dragoncaster. Now for the other stuff, which I'm going to say is the Elemental package as well as the Spell package. They kind of go hand in hand. You have Elemental Allies, which wants you to play elementals and draws you spells. You have Learn Draconic, which wants you to spend mana on spells. You have Violet Spellwing, which is an elemental, which generates a spell. You have Shenvala, which is an elemental, which makes you want to cast lots of spells. And you have Mana Giant, which is an elemental, which makes you want to generate spells. And all of this synergizes together along with some of the Dragon package as well, because Malygos generates a really good spell, which didn't start in your deck, by the way, for Mana Giant. Arcane Breath generates a spell, which didn't start in your deck for Mana Giant, and also wants dragons. So I think that Malygos Aspect of Magic plus Arcane Breath will be 5 stars, and that you will desperately try to find enough dragons to run with your Arcane Breath in order to even run with elementals. I'm not 100% sure that the Elemental Mage deck, the Cyclone Mage, will be able to fit that many dragons in, but we're going to try, and we're going to be greedy. So for Elemental Allies, there are so many elementals that you'll want to play between the new stuff, Violet, Spellwing, Shenvala, and Mana Giant, as well as the old stuff, the Mountain Giant, as well as the Mana Cyclone. Those are strong elementals, and all you have to do is play 2 of them, and then you draw 3 spells in your deck. By the way, Elemental Allies is a spell, so you might draw another Elemental Allies off of your first Elemental Allies, which is great synergy because you might be able to play a bunch of spells and then play Mana Cyclone, which counts for Elemental Allies, which lets you draw more spells. It's really good. And maybe you draw Learn Draconic, and Learn Draconic means that you can use some of the spells you drew to fuel Learn Draconic and get a 1 mana 6/6. You have a 1 mana draw 3, you have a 1 mana 6/6. It's insane. You have a Shenvala, which is 3 mana 2/5, where if you cast 3 spells in a turn, which is actually pretty easy to do when you cast Arcane Breath and then discover a spell and then cast that, or you cast Magic Trick and then you discover a very low cost spell and then cast that and then cast something else. So because of that, I think that this Elemental Mage deck is going to be a tier 1 deck. In summation, I think it's here. I think the Cyclone Mage deck, which was a solid deck hurt by the nerfs, well, when you get this many new cards that you can put into it, and I don't know if you can fit that all into the same deck, but boy, you're gonna try, and if you can pull it off, it's super powerful. And yes, the dragon stuff is also strong, but I just don't think it's quite as strong as the elemental side, and I don't think it's quite as strong as the other stuff that other classes can do with dragons.